This past weekend, there was some really tragic news, especially if you're in Tallahassee, especially if you're a Florida State fan. Jordan Travis went down in one of the – look, it's the Dak injury, right? It's the – Joe, I don't know. People call it the hip takedown, like him,
I don't know if that was a hip drop, though. That didn't look like a hip drop.
The hip drop, whatever they're calling it. Look, man, that's tough, okay? I don't think the kid was trying to hurt Jordan Travis.
No.
Okay, I really don't. But regardless, Jordan Travis out for the remainder of the year. I don't know if it's ankle, leg. I mean, you saw his ankle hanging off. You assume it's ankle.
Yeah, that damn thing's broken. There's no doubt about it. That there's no timetable for recovery. It's done.
If you're going to fight with me over what it is, you're just fighting over semantics. Okay, we all saw it.
Yeah.
They wind up coming back and beating North Alabama. Good for them. They face Florida this weekend. Joe, I got to be honest. This is devastating because Florida State was a team in the beginning of the year that I picked to be in the playoff. You picked to also be in the playoff as one of the top 4 teams. I don't think I don't – should they deserve to be in there? Yes. If they win out, yes. They deserve to be in there from what they've done all year. But, man, can this Tate Rodemaker kid, can he lead him to a victory in a playoff?
Here's my thing, and I'm actually – obviously, Tate Rodemaker is not Jordan Travis. Jordan Travis has a ton of snaps under his belt. He is a seasoned pro at the quarterback position in the ACC, even at 2 schools. He has been around the block, and he has been a big reason for their offensive success, plus the fact that this offense is loaded with a bunch of future NFL stars, Johnny Wilson, Keon Coleman, Trey Benson, all those guys, big fans of all those players, Jaheim Bell as well. The thing that, though, is beneficial here with Rodemaker is that he's actually been asked to come in and finish games before. This is not a situation where you're bringing in a freshman or a sophomore that has limited experience, has a limited ceiling, and you don't know what you're getting. We've at least seen him step in and play. He is not to the level of Jordan Travis, and we shouldn't expect that he's going to play to that same level. But we should at least be able to believe that if they make some offensive adjustments, they can still survive in advance. They can beat Florida. They can beat Louisville in the ACC championship game. The bigger debate now becomes, does the playoff committee inevitably, do they put that into the conversation? Does that come into the conversation of, do we want to send a team with a backup quarterback to the playoff?
Okay, well, listen, if he beats Florida and he beats Louisville, and this team goes 13-0, and you keep them out, you're a piece of dong. You're a piece of dong. Okay,
exactly.
Like there should be this team. If they run the table in the Power 5 and they're undefeated, I don't care what Power 5. Really, be honest with you, Joe. I don't care what Power 5 conference you're in. If you're undefeated and you're 13-0 going into the playoff, you deserve to be in there. Okay, because it's unfair to everybody and everything that they've done before then. But I'm going to tell you something. The kid, I went back and why I watched Florida State, North Alabama more today than I should have. I don't think Rodemaker, now he's put into a very tough spot.
Yes.
Okay, extremely tough spot. Man, he missed 10 passes. He was 13 of 23. He didn't look great. He didn't look bad. He looked average. Now,
that's the best way to describe him.
What I did like about Florida State was everybody knew the situation, and they responded very nicely. They ran the football very, very well. They played much more inspired defensively after that injury, because here's the truth. Guys like Jordan Travis, guys like Bo Nix, Jane Daniels, even I would say right now, Jalen Milroe. Okay, the teams that are in there, Carson Beck, they're your safety blanket because, look, I can be aggressive because, look, I know that Carson Beck or Jordan Travis or Jane Daniels, they're going to come back out here and score, right? Everybody around them stood up. The next 2 weeks is the most crucial thing ever. Now, everybody looks at what Louisville did against Miami and says to themselves, oh, Florida State's going to beat Louisville. Well, Florida State just also beat Miami in a very close fashion, just like Louisville did. Joe, I don't know if Florida State can beat them right now. But hold on.
Okay.
Here's the thing. Florida State, without question, is extremely more talented than Louisville is. If this Rodemaker kid can, and you can game plan for him, can he manage what they need to do? Quick passes to Keon Coleman, running the football, some zone reads, some RPOs. If you can manage, and be very good at game planning, I think you can get through the next 2 weeks. Okay?
That's it for me. I think that if you're Florida State, you have to motivate, reinvigorate your run game. Your run game has been inconsistent throughout this year. Very inconsistent.
They're not a good running football team, man.
But when it's all, and it's really just because of the interior of their offensive line has had some up and down games.
Yep.
You have to find a way to get this run game being your strength. It has to be your most important asset when you have a backup quarterback in. Rodemaker, again, we're talking about here, he's fine. I will say this, though, and you kind of just said it, but I don't know if you'll fully agree with me. I think even with Rodemaker in there, offensively, they're still more talented than Louisville. They're still more offensively explosive than Louisville.
The problem that I have with this is one big thing. I think when teams are very young under a new head coach, I'm more inspired by what Louisville did at Miami than I've been on them at any point of the year. I thought Notre Dame, okay, look, you're at home, you can play up, it is what it is. Them being on the road against I'm going to call it what it is, a very talented Miami team, okay?
Poorly coached, but talented.
Well, Joe,
Mario blew that game. Mario, one of the worst timeout calls in college football this year.
When Van Dyke doesn't make mistakes, we've seen what they are.
Yeah.
Okay, there's a reason they're still a top 35 offense. When he doesn't make mistakes, they move the football.
Yes.
They battled, they faced adversity, okay, and they overcame it. I think they're going to win in 2 weeks.
You think that Louisville's going to beat Florida State?
I'm going to pick Louisville to win. But mainly due to the fact I just don't know it. 2 weeks is not going to prepare me for what I've seen from Plummer the last 13 games.
I understand that.
Now look, Louisville's got Kentucky, and you better not sleep on that now.
Yes, that's a very, very good point. I understand where you're coming from, and I don't think that this is like a hugely volatile debate. Like, I don't think this is going to be one of our most heated debates. It might actually end up becoming one. As much as I can see the argument for why Louisville has an advantage here, we don't know what Rodemaker is going to do. If Rodemaker could come out here and throw for 400 yards against Florida, I know he's not. I'm just saying theoretically,
he's not. There's no game on planet Earth he's going to throw for 400 yards.
I'm just being hyperbolic. I'm just saying we have no idea really what he is.
Spell hyperbolic.
Hyperbolic. I think I misspelled that.
You still misspelled it.
I don't care. That's what we have spell check for.
Very true.
Here's the thing, though. I've seen enough of Louisville to know that they're a good football team, but this past game against Miami, they gave up some really, really big rushing lanes, some long rushing plays to Miami. Trey Benson might eat in that game. And I don't know if Louisville's got those corners that can match up with Keon Coleman and Johnny Wilson.
It doesn't matter if they can match up. Can the kid get it to him? Because, Joe, he couldn't get it to him against North Alabama. And I know that Louisville has better personnel.
It's a fair point. But I just feel, though, that this is not a circumstance where Jordan Travis was a quarterback that was 90% of their success. This is not a circumstance where their offensive performance was contingent on their quarterback's performance. I fully disagree. My point here is look at the weapons that is on this team. This offense is loaded with talent.
But Jordan Travis, when they played Clemson, they only had, I think, 50-something rushing yards, right? You remember that? Which, by the way, how did that Clemson pick work for you?
All right, move on.
Okay.
No more victory laps in the middle of the show.
Nevertheless, okay, I am going to watch. Now, if you ask me today, who would I pick? I would pick Louisville. Okay. This next game against Florida, I think, is crucial.
Yes.
Here's the question that I would ask you to transition this. Okay. If let's just say, let's go down the list of teams. And I'm going to say in the SEC and Big Ten very quickly. Let's say that Bama beat Georgia, right? Let's say that Ohio State beat Michigan or Michigan beat Ohio State. Pick one. I don't care. Doesn't matter. Can Florida State with Tate Rodemaker beat any one of those three teams?
Probably not. Probably not. And that's the problem here.
Let's ask the question. Okay. If they did go undefeated, all right, and let's just say you got a one-loss Georgia, a one-loss Bama, you have a one-loss Michigan, a one-loss Ohio State, however it goes out. Joe, I got to be real. Even though I think personally, because of what they've done, they deserve to be there.
Yes.
There's a part of me that says, listen, in another way, you would get demolished by any one of those teams because Jordan Travis is not there.
Here, though, is in this isn't original. This is something that's been brought up even in a very jovial manner, bringing up the Cardale Jones stuff. Like, it's currently now a circulating joke, resurfacing some of the quotes from Cardale Jones and putting Tate Rodemaker's face on it right now. It's actually quite funny.
Anytime we mention Cardale Jones on this show, let's remember that he beat a kid in a hospital in NCAA 84-6. Okay.
So what we need to do is we need to send Tate Rodemaker to the nearest children's hospital now. And in all seriousness, though, there is a world, and if we compare that Ohio State team to this Florida State team offensively, just purely offensively, I think that there's similar talent levels at the skill positions.
Let me ask a very quick question. Wouldn't you have to throw out everything from Florida State offensively?
Why?
They're going to have to be completely different than who they are. Everything that they've done from this point, from LSU until North Alabama, it's washed.
They will have to make changes, but what I'm getting at here is that when the injuries that happened for Ohio State the year that they won that national championship, it was like a foregone conclusion by everybody that Ohio State was done. Nobody thought twice about Ohio State in that conversation. It was like, oh, they're in the fourth spot. They're going to get cooked. And look what they did.
I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to do it this week because they just beat a number 11 team. Florida State's out right now and looking in. They're on the outside looking in, Joe.
Yeah, they're moving to number 5. I don't disagree with that.
Because you got to look, you have 4 undefeated teams or 4 undefeated teams that are going to be in there, right? Florida, I can't put Florida State in there knowing that Jordan Travis is out. Okay. Anything else you want to put up on this? Now, I will say this. You brought up the Cardale Jones part. He's not Cardale Jones. I've seen enough.
We didn't know who Cardale Jones was, though, when he stepped into that offense, though.